Hi there, and welcome to Bloomberg Sports Ballpark Figures. I'm Julie Alexandria, here with fantasy analyst Rob Shaw. And today we've got a little feel-good story for you guys. We're going to be profiling 5 players who have been aging gracefully. This is everybody's dream. It's my dream, anyway, if I were a baseball player. You'd love to be playing into your twilight years and still playing well. You don't want to go out on a bad note. You want to keep that whole legacy alive. Let's start with the guy who probably has one of the most sterling legacies in all of Major League Baseball, Derek Jeter.
Yeah, Mr. Jeter. How about 341 average so far this season? A couple years ago, everyone assumed he was in decline and couldn't have come at a worse time for his agent because it was right before he became a free agent. Now, the Yankees locked him up with a pretty big deal, and so far, he's been kind of making it work. I mean, he's been earning that money. Again, the 341 average has been amazing. 5 home runs. He's now 1 hit shy of 3,150 for his career. Looking at the numbers, I am getting a little concerned because even though the slugging percentage is way up from a year ago, he hasn't had much power over the last month or so. So I'm starting to wonder whether or not what we saw was simply a hot start and whether it truly will be sustainable. If he could keep the average over 290, good for him. Then he's definitely worth bringing back for another year for the Yankees. But if not, then the Yankees have to start wondering, hey, are we losing on the field because of someone who we kind of have to keep out there? Otherwise, it'll be a PR disaster for them. So Derek Jeter, so far, again, numbers have been sensational, almost warrants MVP consideration, but he has been losing some of that power recently. On Tuesday night, he did have a big game-winning hit, though, so good for him. Hopefully that turns things around and he can continue his big surge to, I don't know, what, 3,500 hits? We'll see.
Well, he is the face of that franchise.
Yes, he is.
And I feel like he is what baseball is today. So
yes.
Nice to see him. All right, David Ortiz, 7-time All-Star, Big Papi. This guy is not slowing down.
He's getting bitter, though, with age. I don't know what's going on out there. David Ortiz, Big Papi, used to be the big, colorful guy you enjoy. He has some good quotes. But recently, he's been getting a little bitter, complaining about the media, complaining about the fans, saying he doesn't get enough respect, sounding like Rodney Dangerfield. I don't know what's going on. Now, what I do know is that he is on pace for 40 home runs, 120 RBIs, and a 325 average. All this coming from a guy who we assumed was finished a couple years back. So good for him. He has been as valuable as any designated hitter in Major League Baseball. I think this is a guy that you definitely want to have on a fantasy team. Sustainable? Sure, why not? He's been doing it the last couple of years. So David Ortiz, Big Papi, is definitely back. What I'm curious to see is whether or not he could get enough numbers, enough seasons under his belt to get right up there in the Hall of Fame consideration, and then what? Because he's complaining about the fans and the media right now, but he kind of got a free pass with the whole steroid speculation situation. So, you know, he kind of gave a free pass with the HGH use or whatever it was, the illegal performance drugs, and now he's complaining. So I don't know what's going to happen. I do wonder whether or not, if he gets up there enough to earn the consideration, whether it would warrant Hall of Fame. Probably not, because, again, he is a little bit tainted in that regard.
All right, well, let's talk about, on the positive side, one of my absolute favorite players in all of baseball, Chipper Jones, Atlanta Braves. This guy, 19 seasons with the Braves. I don't want him to retire. Everyone's saying he's going to retire after 2012. He said he's going to leave. What is going to happen to baseball without Chipper Jones?
It'll probably go on like it has the last 200 years. But no, seriously, I love Chipper Jones myself, and I'm a Mets fan. I mean, Chipper Jones, just to give you an idea of how popular he is in baseball, was playing in the games in Cincinnati this past week, Braves versus Reds, and they're honoring him. They're putting Chipper Jones, number 5, on all of the bases, and then after the last game, they're actually going to give him one of those bases. So he's one of the most popular guys in baseball. I used to cover him when I was based out of Florida, and he was one of the best interviews. We always talked fantasy football, so he actually is a big fantasy fan himself. Chipper Jones aging gracefully. You know, unfortunately, over the last, 5-7 years, he has missed a lot of time because of injuries, and once again, I mean, even in this series against the Reds, he's not playing right now because of injuries. But when he has been on the field, he has been as productive as anyone. He still is basically the cleanup hitter for the Braves. 5 home runs, 24 RBIs, 307 average. And I love this because I would love for nothing more than for him to go out on top. He deserves it. And came in, remember, when he came in, it was the early 90s. That's when the Braves just started competing, won a championship with them. So Chipper Jones, in my opinion, no-brainer as far as being a Hall of Famer. And now he is aging gracefully. And hopefully, he goes out on top.
On his 40th birthday, hit a solo home run against the Dodgers, winning the game 4-3.
Yeah.
Is there any better way to spend a 40th birthday?
Yeah, not bad at all.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
sounds pretty awesome. I'm not 40, but if I could, that's how I would do it.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about a late bloomer, Raul Ibanez.
Yes.
So this guy didn't even get to 500 at-bats until he was 30 years old.
It's true. Yeah, no, he was absolutely a late bloomer. If people remember, it was with the Kansas City Royals, and then after that, he went to the Seattle Mariners, and then the Phillies signed him. And for the Phillies, had a nice little start. Then he got injured, and a little bit of a bust. So they figured, okay, no need to re-sign him. So the Yankees took him in, and he's a New York native. So it's cool to see him back, and he's actually been sensational so far this season. He's got 27 RBIs. He's got 9 home runs. This coming from a 39-year-old guy. Look, the Yankees really need that pop right now. This is a team that's been struggling a bit offensively. A lot of guys you expect big numbers from have been underperforming, and Raul Ibanez, a guy who people really didn't expect much from, showing up and offering a lot. So we'll see whether or not he can become a hometown hero. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how short your time is with the Yankees. I mean, we all remember Aaron Boone, don't we? As long as he performs well and gets a big hit during the postseason, this guy's legacy could very well be cemented as a Yankee. So pretty cool stuff for Raul Ibanez.
And as long as he doesn't play basketball in the offseason.
Yeah, I'll
totally
tell you.
ruin his career.
Boone's career certainly ended
Thank
that
you,
way.
Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Derek Lowe. He's 38. Total journeyman here. I mean, the guy's played for everybody.
You know, it's funny. I remember when he was a closer for the Red Sox and then just lost it one year, and they're trying to figure out what are we going to do. Let's throw him in the starting rotation and see what happens. Well, what ended up happening was he got a whole new life and a whole new career. His numbers have been pretty solid over the years, but last year with the Braves, horrible. And maybe it's because of all the trade speculation, but whatever it was, they got rid of him. The Indians took him on, and I've never seen this. He has more walks than strikeouts, and yet he has been incredibly effective this year. This is a big sinker baller guy, keeps the ball on the ground. 2.15 ERA. He's been gave up just 7 runs over his last 6 starts. Sustainable? I don't know. We'll see. But I'll tell you this. In fantasy, don't pick this guy up because, again, when it comes to starting pitchers, you really want to get some strikeouts because you're already losing no saves. So even at his best, he'll help you in wins, ERA, and WHIP. Is that enough to warrant fantasy consideration? In my opinion, no. I would look for other options. But good for Derek Lowe. Certainly, again, another guy who seems to be going out on top.
Nice to see the old guys doing it.
Yeah.
Doing it well. All right. Thank you so much, Rob Shaw. For all the latest videos and info on your fantasy sports, check out bloombergsports.com and check out, there's a little chance to win 2 tickets to this year's All-Star Game. Don't want to miss out on that. I'm Julie Alexandria. Thanks for watching.